Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from, I think I'm in Katanning, Pennsylvania tonight. Today's question is coming to us from Eddie. Eddie wants to know, once you have your horse at the right stage of development and determine that they're ready for the spade bit, how do you choose the right mouthpiece? So based on this question and based on knowing Eddie, I know that he's taking his horse through kind of the classical Western bridle horse development process. So he's been riding his horse in a hackamore, and now he's advancing into riding her or he's prepared to ride her into potentially the two-rein and then eventually what we would consider to be straight up in the bridle. But I'm going to answer this question for any horse, regardless of discipline, when we're at the stage with that horse where we feel as though they're prepared to move on to a more sophisticated bridle. When I say sophisticated bridle, I'm talking about them moving into the curb bit, into a shank bit. With the spade, this would be for a signal. With a traditional Western style or even English style curb bit, it's something of a leverage bit. And that's just semantics about the way that those two styles of bits work slightly differently. What I want to think about when I'm moving a horse into the curb bit, into a bit, right? We talk about the snaffle versus the bit, right? That's in kind of the classical Western horse development process. That's how we would refer to that. But in any event, we're talking about moving the horse up into a more refined precision tool. So what we want to think about with the curb, it's really important that we understand how our horse's mouth is shaped, inside and outside, okay? Depending on how the mouth is shaped, that's going to determine the kind of mouthpiece that we use. Does the horse have a shallow palate? Does the horse have a high palate? We're talking about the roof of the mouth. Is there a big arc in the roof of the mouth? Is it very flat? Is it flat and high? Is it flat and low? How about the arch? So there's a lot of variation in there from one horse to the next. And then we want to talk about the tongue. Does he have a very thick tongue? Does he have generally a thinner tongue? That's going to have a play in there also. When we look at our bridle bits, we see a shape on top, of course, and a shape on bottom. When the horse's mouth is relaxed, the tongue fills the mouth. So we want to make sure that that bit is going to fit comfortably in the horse's mouth on top, both up at the palate, and on bottom on the tongue, particularly when the tongue is relaxed. We also want to think about the width of the horse's mouth. Some horses have very narrow mouths on the inside. Some horses have slightly wider mouths on the inside. And then we've got the outside of that. There are some horses we see with kind of narrow jaws, narrow mouths, yet they've got a little more on the outside. So that's going to have a play in there as well. And that's when we start talking about the difference in the port widths. If we have a ported bit, with space, we refer to it as tongue relief. That's kind of a misnomer that we want to talk about maybe at another point in another video. But we'll see some bits that are a little wider in the port and some that are a little more narrow in the port. And again, that's going to relate to kind of the interior structure of the mouth. So it's a good idea. Take a peek inside your horse's mouth, and their mouths change, okay? This is why we typically wait until a horse is a little bit older, until he's a little bit more mature, to put a curb bit in his mouth so that we're not kind of pestering all of these places and pieces while the horse's teeth are changing. That's something to keep in mind as well. So I wish I could give a really simple answer to that question, but just like with people with shoe sizes, right? Your shoes might be a certain size, and then you've got width of your feet, things like that. There's a certain amount of heel pressure you might put on a shoe versus the ball of your foot pressure, instep, that sort of thing. All of that factors into your shoes. Things like that within the horse's mouth structure and facial structure will also play into that with the horses, with our bitting process, with our horses as we get more refined. So just those couple tips there kind of to get you started. And once you start peeking in at your horse's mouth and see how things are shaped up, that's going to give you a better idea of what to look for when you're selecting those bridle bits, okay? And again, we're talking for any discipline. If you're talking about dressage, riding your horse into the double bridle, it's important that for the double, it's especially important that both of your bits fit the mouth structure. And again, in our Western horses as well, it's important that that bit fits. Just like your saddle should fit, just like his shoes should fit, if he wears shoes, your bit needs to fit also in relation to the structure of the horse's mouth. So I hope that that's been helpful. Something I would like to do, gang, and let me know if you're interested. We've got a lot of bitting questions that have been coming in, and I'm thinking about doing a live broadcast here on Facebook, specifically on bits and bit functions and bit selection and that sort of thing. If you're interested, let me know in the comment section below this video. Let me know if you're interested in seeing kind of a whole broadcast specifically focused on bits and bitting, that I can maybe bring in some examples and get some illustrations going and that sort of thing. So again, let me know in the comment section below if you're interested in seeing something like that, and then we'll get something scheduled and I'll make sure that we post it and let everybody know. Also want to let everybody know, please, if you get a moment, click on over to our YouTube channel where we upload all of these almost daily Q&A videos, plus extra videos, footage from clinics, other special video projects that we put together for you. We've got, I think we've got close to 100 videos on there right now of all topics. So make sure that you click on over and subscribe to that so that you get notifications when we post new videos. So question of the day for you today, and I really didn't think about any of these yet. Let's see. What was your most memorable ride on your horse? I want to hear your stories. Post them in the comment section below this video. Don't forget, please submit your questions. You can email them. You can submit them in the comment section below. Send them to us in private messages or direct messages to our Facebook page. Really loving all the questions that we're getting, and I'm really having a good time making these videos for you guys. I hope that they're helpful and insightful for you along your journey of horsemanship. Don't forget, gang, you keep asking questions. I'll keep giving answers. Thanks so much.